Europe and Africa Liaison to United States European Command, welcome to this special event. We ask that you please silence your cell phones at this time. Today we pay special tribute to Commander John E. Dolby and his family on the occasion of his retirement from active duty, culminating over 24 years of faithful and honorable service in the United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and uniform members, please don your cover for the singing of the national anthem as performed by Caden Burke.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our guest speaker for today's ceremony is Mr. Al Viana. Due to a family funeral, Mr. Viana is unable to be with us in person today, but he has recorded his remarks so that he can share them with us virtually. Mr. Viana is the Director of the Requirements and Resource Integration Director, J8, of United States European Command in Stuttgart, Germany. He is responsible to the Commander and serves as the Principal Advisor, providing analytical expertise, judgment, and advice on all aspects of capability needs, technology innovation, approaches, and resource integration necessary to engage and enhance European and U.S. security interests within the European theater. Mr. Viana has a 26-year distinguished career in the United States Army as an Apache helicopter pilot and in operations research analysis, and is a graduate of the nation's second-best service academy, West Point. He has been cherished friend and mentor to Commander Dolby for close to a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Viana.
Just like Al, he's late.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially our honored honoree, Commander John Dolby and his family, welcome. It is truly an honor and a privilege to participate today as we gather to celebrate the remarkable career and service of Commander John Dolby. My apologies for hosting this special event remotely. I consider John and his family more than just work colleagues, but rather true friends. Somebody you can share stories with or call in times of need, especially important, for example, when you drive older cars like me. Although I am currently somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean traveling to Connecticut to lay my father-in-law to rest, today, we bid farewell to a loyal and accomplished naval officer who has dedicated 25 years of his life to the United States Navy and to our great country. As we recognize John's incredible achievements, we must acknowledge the importance of his family, who stood by his side through thick and thin. Lisa, Justin, Annalise, we extend our deepest appreciation and gratitude to you. Your unwavering support, understanding, and sacrifices have played an integral role in enabling John to fulfill his duties and responsibilities with the utmost professionalism and dedication. While John was called to serve on distant shores, sail through challenging waters, and fly in less than ideal conditions, you all kept the home fires burning, shouldering the burdens and challenges that come with military life with such grace. You have consistently displayed resilience, adaptability, and strength, often juggling multiple roles and responsibilities in the absence of your loved husband and father. We also recognize your contributions in both time and energy to our community, especially in support of Stuttgart High School, administering to the students, but more importantly, in fundraising, concessions, and as a team mom to the Stuttgart High School football program, to include organizing their excellent photographer. For that, we thank you. I have had the honor to personally know John and his family for the past 6 years, but our relationship started before they moved to Stuttgart. Prior to his arrival to UCOM, John was assigned to the U.S. Special Operations Command as their posture planning branch chief, with, it appears, the primary mission of gaining the indignation, ire, and anger of a gentle, kind, and larger-than-life former SOCUR commander. Yes, Major General retired Mike Repass. We understand he greets John with open arms even today. Due to John's strategic level insights, analytical prowess, and dogged determination, he's a capable foe in defending or advancing any position he is asked to support. As John dutifully assisted in the effort to reduce Stuttgart's overcrowding by advancing SOCOM's initiative to co-locate the 2 Theater Special Operations Command headquarters to the garden spot of Germany, yes, Baumholder, where training ranges are plentiful and access to military airfields are just down the road. He quickly discovered that this wasn't such a brilliant idea and there were many opposing views. I discovered his talents. As his time in Tampa was coming to a close, I actively worked to bring John to UCOM to join our team. I'm not sure he realized we worked on the 5th floor of Building 2301 with no elevator, a minor point not mentioned in the sales pitch of the associated benefits of living and working in Europe. Convincing John to join our team was one of the best decisions I ever made. Convincing him to extend was a close second. John is an outstanding leader, strategic thinker, gifted writer, and a good friend. He's action-oriented, always achieving results. As the UCOM Posture Branch Chief, he adjusted and aligned the European Deterrence Initiative to meet the National Defense Strategy's goal of rebuilding a combat-credible posture in Europe. He led UCOM's long-term basing and posture strategy. He led the development of UCOM's initial European Deterrence Initiative pseudo 5-year plan and championed the effort through the Office of the Secretary of Defense for inclusion in the President's 2017 budget submission. He briefed UCOM's posture in the European Deterrence Initiative to the professional staff members of the House Armed Services Committee, House Appropriations Committee for Defense, the Senate Armed Services Committee, resulting in an increase of the European Deterrence Initiative from $800 million to $3.6 billion. And over his 4 years, $20 billion total to the command, a remarkable feat. He managed the numerous overseas force structure changes and the host nation notifications to include a deterrence package number 1, 4 deployed naval forces, military intelligence brigade, the cyber integrated planning teams, and most recently, the turn package number 2. Strategic thinker, gifted writer. It was John's words that the commander used to brief the DepSecDef to accept an expanded European deterrence initiative. I still remember the day sitting at the table, General Scaparrotti reading John's words to the DepSecDef. It was a great feeling. As we continue to reflect upon your 25 years of service, it is impossible not to admire your other achievements. From your early days as a young officer, you displayed exceptional leadership, earning the respect and admiration of your peers and superiors alike. Over the years, you climbed the ranks, facing numerous challenges with poise and determination. Your career has taken you to the far reaches of the globe, from the vast expanses of the Pacific Ocean to the troubled waters of the Middle East. You have led sailors, planned, directed, and monitored air operations in the Yukon AOR, trained naval aviators for tough deployments, and flown dangerous anti-submarine and surface warfare missions with precision and excellence, just to name a few of your highlights. Your expertise and unwavering commitment have undoubtedly made a lasting impression on the Navy's operational readiness. But your contributions extend far beyond the operational realm. You have been a mentor, a role model, and a source for inspiration to countless sailors, soldiers, airmen, and civilians who had the privilege to look to you as their supervisor. And in my case, as iron sharpens iron, I have learned a great deal from you as well. You have instilled all a sense of purpose, a strong work ethic, and steadfast belief in mission. Your leadership has not only shaped the lives of the individuals, but has also strengthened the Navy and Joint Command as a whole. As you embark on your new chapter of your life, I have no doubt that your skills, leadership, and unwavering commitment will continue to serve you well. The Navy may be losing a remarkable officer today, but the civilian world is gaining an exceptional individual. You will undoubtedly make a difference wherever you go. We wish you the best as you join the J-17. On behalf of the Headquarters UCOM team and all those present here today, I extend my deepest gratitude for your service. Commander John Dolby, may this new chapter be filled with joy, fulfillment, and new adventures. Fair winds, following seas, shipmate. And one more time from Tracy's dad and the rest of us to you, go Army, beat Navy. God bless you, John, and your family.
Captain Roberts will now present the Defense Meritorious Service Medal to Commander Dolby for dedicated service to his country and the United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the award. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Commander John E. Dolby III, United States Navy, distinguished himself by outstanding meritorious service as a command liaison to United States European Command, the United States Africa Command, United States Strategic Command, Patch Barracks, Germany, from July 2020 to July 2023. During this period, Commander Dolby's professionalism, relationship building, and humble leadership contributed immeasurably to the maintenance of strategic deterrence during a sustained period of heightened strategic risk. His efforts to ensure alignment in objectives, planning, and assessments for the Bomber Task Force resulted in the successful execution of 10 deployments, encompassing nearly 300 days of B-1, B-52, and B-2 bomber deployments, and 311 sorties, both in and from the United States European Command's area of responsibility. During Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, Commander Dolby provided the command's senior leaders with timely insights and recommendations that informed both risk assessments for national leadership and United States Strategic Command's first commander's estimate since the Cold War. The distinctive accomplishments of Commander Dolby culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Strategic Command, the United States Navy, and the Department of Defense. Please be seated and remain seated for the presentation of certificates of appreciation. Captain Roberts will now present a certificate of appreciation to Commander Dolby from the Commander-in-Chief. For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, I extend my personal gratitude and a sincere appreciation for our grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embodied the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. Captain Roberts will now present Ms. Lisa Dolby, Justin Dolby, and Annalise Dolby with certificates of appreciation for their steadfast support of Commander Dolby and the nation throughout their family's military career. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Lisa A. Dolby, Justin D. Dolby, and Annalise E. Dolby have earned grateful appreciation for their unselfish, faithful, and devoted service during Commander Dolby's naval career. Their unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible Commander Dolby's lasting contribution to the mission of the United States Navy. Signed, Robert E. Wirth, Rear Admiral, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Commander John Dolby.
Hope you'll forgive me if I wear my sunglasses. I don't really want to go blind. So, good afternoon, Mr. Viana, somewhere over the Atlantic, Captain Roberts, family, friends, colleagues. I'd invite those of you in the back to come sit in the chairs that are empty, but you're probably enjoying the shade, so you're welcome to stay back there. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for joining us on this special day, not just for me, but for my entire family. As many of you in the audience know, when I'm not being introduced as Commander Dolby, I'm almost always being introduced as Lisa Dolby's husband. Lisa has asked for the opportunity to say a few words, and I can't think of a better person to share the stage with before I make my remarks and expound a little bit on why I am so proud to be known as Lisa Dolby's husband. But first, I'd like to set the stage just a little bit. And just a little bit of insider baseball is that I set the tone by driving off with both sets of car keys to come and get set up here. So not only did I put a little bit of stress on Lisa and the rest of the family, but our great friend Preston had to drive all the way to Dentonhausen to rescue us. So that sets the stage a little bit. We'll see what she says about me. The Navy spouse, more accurately, the military spouse, is often the glue of the family. The one that raises the kids single-handedly until their spouse comes home from whatever deployment or training they were on and throws sand in the gears of the now well-oiled machine that the family has become. They are the ones that meets old Murphy and his dumb law as soon as the spouse leaves and everything in the house breaks. They are the ones that spend sleepless nights worrying about their pilot, their SEAL, their sailor, their corpsman. Our family has been graced not with someone who handled everything that was thrown at them with ease. That is real life, after all. But someone who always managed to find the positive and to come out the other side stronger and wiser every single time. A challenge got in the way. She met it every single time. Lisa has gained a moniker from some of her friends that know her best, and one that many of you who know her now will immediately register as appropriate. She's often called the Rainbow Pooper because of her incessantly positive outlook. Well, Rainbow Pooper, floor is yours.
All right. I started my Navy wife life on a beautiful sunshiny day in San Diego, standing beside my husband and surrounded by my family and friends. I find joy in the fact that I'm here, again, at the close of this chapter, on a beautiful sunshiny day, next to my husband, and surrounded by my family and friends. When I started this journey, I was welcomed by Gabe, yelling, "Welcome to the Navy, ma'am," and at the same time, Rich smacked me on the butt with his sword. John's World welcomed me from the start through the kindness of his friends, the welcome that I felt from his squadrons, and the tradition or camaraderie in each of the big events I was a part of. My son was born as an HSL 43 Battle Kitten. My daughter, a baby HSL 41 Seahawk. Navy wives were happy to throw showers and help me adjust. John's first CO's wife, Tracy, showed me the ropes by explaining fit reps, deployments, workups, and how to throw a darn good party. I look back on amazing memories of flight suit formals, strolling the deck of the USS Tarawa in the evenings, watching the San Diego sun skyline, when John was standing duty and we would bring him dinner. I watched John's ship sail into San Diego Harbor from my office on the 12th floor. I remember parties on the beach at North Island, John flying over our house and looking up with the kids to say hello to Dad, and so many wonderful homecomings. One of my favorites was a time when Justin tried to help carry John's sea bag, which was twice his size, and Annalise had a 4th of July headband on with red, white, and blue sparkles. Another was a day when I stood on the pier in Pearl Harbor, welcoming the USS Thatch. I saw John Duden on the rails. I yelled up to him to ask where John Dolby was. My John was in the shower, but they got word to him, and he appeared on the deck in his whites within minutes. He wasn't expecting me. We flew out to surprise him, and that memory is priceless. Some Navy days were tough. There was bad news from time to time, and I hated the days when he was at sea. Each time John deployed, the kids and I had a pity party. We had a pity party day. We ate crappy food, we watched bad movies, we cried, we were miserable. But the rule was always that the next day, we had to get back to life and make Dad proud of us while he was gone. More often than not, we had a construction project gone bad that allowed us to use a hammer and take out our anger on a closet shelf or a wall that we wanted removed. We found along the way that sometimes the Navy makes you wonder. There was a time when we thought John's career would take a right, but the Navy said, "We'd like you to take a sharp left instead." I was mad. I called my mom and she said, "Well, I'm mad too." I called my mother and father and sister-in-laws and they said, "Well, we're mad too." I told John I was mad. He said, "Well, I'm mad too, but what are we gonna do about it?" He told me we would make that left-hand turn into the greatest thing that has ever happened. Lucky for us, that sharp left led us here, to Stuttgart, where we have lived big, laughed hard, and leaned full force into life. We've watched our kids grow in a world full of mentors who have taught them that life gives you exactly what you ask for. And by giving 100%, you get about 150% back. I've lived my Navy wife life with great pride and by constantly remaining true to my own core value. Surround yourself with good people and work hard. Thank you to the United States Navy for over 20 years of beautiful, dreamy memories, for the good days and the lessons we learned during those bad days. And thank you for giving us a hard left when we wanted so badly to turn right. We're well prepared to take a step out of this life that we know so well and to keep moving forward together by following these lessons the Navy has taught us. Today we celebrate John's amazing career, and I appreciate the privilege I've been given to share my own Navy experience with everyone. Thank you to the United States Navy, thank you to the helicopter community, and to the people who've made the journey so special for me.
So for those of you that don't know, Wednesday was high school graduation. So my daughter graduated, and if any of you were there, you'll realize that I am the third best speaker of the speakers you're hearing from the Dolbys this week, because she got to speak as the senior class president and was phenomenal. Obviously, Lisa is way better than me. You're not speaking today, Justin. I appreciate that, but also They left on Wednesday night and just got back this morning, like a 28-hour trip to Disney with all the seniors that Lisa was on. Many of the people in this audience were on, so she's running on no sleep, so I think that was pretty amazing. When Captain Roberts and I were going over the script, he mentioned that he had recently had the opportunity to speak at another retirement for a senior sailor from one of his crews. He also said that ceremony had run nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes. We're at about 27 minutes now. So at the risk of doing public math, we'll just say I owe at least an hour and 20 minutes to beat that, I think. So everybody get comfortable. There's water over there. If you need to get up, grab a water, come back to the seat, good to go. Really though, if any of you were at graduation, you know that Annalise spoke, and I took a real risk at letting or inviting Lisa to come up and speak, because not only is she a better speaker, but we have the same sort of sentiments. So you may hear some of the same strains go through her speech as you hear her go through mine. If you've ever been to a Navy retirement ceremony, you know they're often full of pomp, circumstance, and tradition. I've tried to keep this pretty simple, not because I don't value and celebrate those traditions. I do, I love them. But I also believe that this is a deeply personal event. So for me, it's about having an opportunity to say a few words, and more importantly, having the opportunity to thank those of you sitting here today, and those that will watch the video replay, who've made this whole Navy experience so formative and incredible for my entire family. If you'll indulge me for a few more minutes, in addition to saying a bunch of thank yous, I have a couple lessons I've observed along the way that I'd like to pass on. Mostly to my kids, while they're here stuck and have to listen to me, but also to anyone else in the audience who might find a bit of it mildly insightful. So lesson 1, when you think a door has closed, don't blink, because there's usually an opportunity lurking around the corner. Every time I've reached a point in my career where something didn't go my way, or I didn't get the opportunity we wanted, there's always been a silver lining if we looked hard enough. Has anyone in the audience ever read Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights? Or even better, listen to it, because then you get Matthew McConaughey's voice. In it, he talks about moments in life when you hit the green light, the sign to go, to proceed, to seize the opportunity. In my experience, these green light moments are often preceded by a failure or a disappointment. My green light moments go all the way back to high school, when I didn't get an appointment to the Naval Academy. Another door opened, and I spent a year at prep school and junior college making myself better. I would not have succeeded at the Naval Academy had I not had that extra year. Green light. When I didn't screen for Aviation Command in 2015, it seemed pretty devastating. That's what Lisa was referencing. However, through the kindness of Al Viana, as he mentioned, I was offered the opportunity to take another shore duty job at UCOM here in Stuttgart. For those of you that don't know, shore to shore is not the norm for Navy 05s. They want us to go back to sea so that they can eke every bit of blood out of us possible. I called Lisa, and our conversation went something like this. Hey Lisa, what do you think of moving to Germany? Well, I wasn't prepared for that. That's a lot. There may have been some tears and crying over the phone. My response, you've always said you wanted to travel through Europe after we retire, so why don't we just do it now on the Navy's dime? Well, okay. Why not? That's how we ended up with the opportunity to build the incredible community and life we have had here in Stuttgart. It never would have happened if we hadn't been on the lookout for a new door to open when one closed. Green light. There are so many other examples, but in actuality, I promised Captain Roberts I wouldn't talk forever, so suffice to say, sometimes life won't go your way. That's okay. Find another path. Lesson 2. It's all about the people. And if it's all about the people, then it's all about relationships. According to Merriam-Webster, a network, and that's a dictionary, kids, a network is a usually informal, interconnected group or association of persons, such as friends or professional colleagues. Whereas Oxford Languages says that a relationship is the way in which two or more people or things are connected, or the state of being connected. In my estimation, it's the way in which you're connected that matters the most. You will hear people talk about expanding the size of your network. Don't get me wrong, there is value in that. a lot of value. It very well may open doors for you, but it's relationships that get you through the door. And it's relationships that pick you up and get you back on the right track when you stumble at the threshold of that door. Taking the time to build meaningful relationships means being engaged, giving at least as much as you receive, and trying to find ways to make life happier, easier, or more fulfilling for someone. Relationships are about sharing experiences together and making memories. I'm incredibly lucky to have people who've been there throughout my career in the audience today. And I know that when I look back on my career in 20 years, as I'm sitting around my dinner table with my grandkids, that's right, one of you, someday, not yet. I'm not going to talk about the times I put in really long work days or the number of people I was connected with on LinkedIn. I'm going to talk about the time on my first deployment that we took my friend John Duden, friend and fellow pilot, sitting in the front row here, out to Raffles Steakhouse in Singapore. I will tell them about how he swore up and down that you could not find a better steak in the world than what could be had at Outback Steakhouse. I will tell them about the look on his face when he took the first bite of that perfectly cooked, prime, dry-aged ribeye, and how I knew he'd been ruined for life and would never again look at Outback the same way. I will tell them that John can be depended on, no matter what. I'll talk about my friend Captain Matt Fanning, who graduated from the Naval Academy in the class of 1999 with me. We might not have known each other at the time, but we shared an experience that binds us, and it was easy to make a foundation for a relationship because of that. I will tell them about how Matt told me of the Lego model he built from scratch of a Los Angeles class submarine. How he built it with such detail that the Navy told him he had to change the nuclear reactor compartment because it too closely resembled the real deal. I will tell them about how he engineered his own wooden carrying crate to safely transport this beast, probably in that crate right now, through his military moves, and how he was a huge nuke geek. I will tell them that I could always pick up the phone and trust that I could get the unvarnished and almost always productive truth from Matt. When I tell them about my gear and cutter, I'm not wasting a breath talking about how we ran macros in Excel to build the master air attack plan. I'm telling them about this Air Force captain named Adam Banducci, call sign Wally, sitting in the back row, who drove us everywhere. Call sign Wally, who was like our little big brother. Drove us everywhere. He got us into some trouble, but mostly got us out of trouble. And I'll tell them about how cool it was to see Wally here at UCOM, all grown up, but still Wally. Stories about my time at SOCOM in Tampa probably won't include a diatribe about working on the Global Soft Posture Plan, but I will talk about the incredible couple we met there named Kyle and Rachel Corey. I'll reminisce about how we met them as the photographers at their wedding and how we became fast friends who'd come to be travel partners while living in Stuttgart. And finally, when I talk about our time here in Stuttgart, there won't be much time spent on the operational planning teams I was a part of, but I'm sure I will talk my grandkids' ears off about the amazing people in this audience I was able to build relationships with. The UCOM staffers out there, all you guys in the back row, standing up back there, who've been grinding away for 1.5 years now, non-stop, trying to balance helping Ukraine repel Russia's illegal annexation while keeping the US out of a war with Russia. Not easy work. The teachers, administrators, and coaches who've taught and mentored both Justin and Annalise, but also Lisa and me, and who have invited us in to be a part of our kids' teenage years as few parents get to be. The friends and family who've traveled from the States to celebrate this occasion, and the friends who are there for us at every milestone event or when we need a helping hand. I'm looking at you, Ken Fields, without fail. Everyone here is someone I hope I've built a relationship with on some level, and who I hope knows that I am invested in you. I am so incredibly thankful for everyone here, but I do have a few specific thanks to offer before I close. There are so many people I'd like to thank specifically, but can't, so please forgive me if I don't highlight you by name. Thank you, Chief Garrett and his Navy team, for their help in setting up and taking down for this ceremony. I don't belong to UCOM, if you didn't help me, I would have gotten it done, but you made it a heck of a lot easier when you helped a shipmate, and I truly appreciate that. To YN1, sorry. Thank you very much. I know this was a last minute thing for you, and you didn't know me until you showed up about 3 hours ago. And your professionalism is fantastic. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you to Kaden Berkman for the amazing rendition of the national anthem. It has been a highlight of our time here, watching you grow up and seeing you achieve the incredible successes and happiness you have worked so hard to earn. Jace Berkman, thank you for filming so that my family who couldn't make it can share in the day. Don't tell Kaden, but you're a way better boarder than he was at your age. To Commander Micah Cyborg, thank you for lending your time and voice to make this ceremony happen. Thank you to Captain Roberts. It means a lot to have had someone who I know and respect be there to retire me in Oregon. I'm sorry I couldn't beat the 2.5-hour record. Corey's, Kenfields, and Foxes, thank you for being steadfast friends, and for helping out so much this week, including setting up here, setting up at our party, and going to Disney, many of you. So, Albiano, thank you for your words. They are more than I deserve. I hope you know how much you mean to me and Lisa. We wouldn't be here in Stuttgart doing this ceremony today if you hadn't convinced Rear Admiral Dalton it was worth going to bat with the Bureau of Navy Personnel to get me orders from SOCOM to UCOM. More importantly, you are a mentor who's taught me so much about integrity, about dedication, about not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Thank you for being a friend, Al. To my friends John and Karen, my sister Melissa, and my mother and father-in-law Gail and Mike, thank you for traveling from the States to celebrate Annalise's graduation, Justin's birthday, oh by the way, it's my son's 21st birthday today, and my retirement. It's an honor and a gift that you were here. To my parents John and Jenny, I'm sorry you couldn't make it. Your presence is missed, but we know how proud you are of all of us. Justin and Annalise, you two are the most fun, most challenging, intelligent kids I could have asked for, and you've approached each and every step of our Navy journey as a new adventure, even when it meant uprooting yourselves from your lives. I love you both very much. Thank you for sharing your graduation week with me, Annalise, even though you wouldn't share your graduation month with Mr. Fox's 50th birthday. And thank you for sharing your 21st birthday with me, Justin. Last but never least, Lisa. I'd be remiss if I didn't start by saying congratulations on receiving your master's in HR a few weeks ago. Your perseverance is an inspiration to your entire family. I've learned so much from you as we've been on this ride together, and you epitomize the two lessons I talked about. You build rock-solid relationships by dedicating yourself to people. Your eyes are always on the lookout for the rainbow to pop up on the horizon after the rainstorm. Thank you for making our family and me better. I love you. Thank you again for coming and for sharing your time with us. I hope that many of you will be able to join us at the old firehouse outside Panzer for a party beginning at 18:30. We have a ton of food that many of my friends have been working on for weeks. Smoking meats and making stews and beans and all kinds of good stuff. So hopefully you can join us there. We'd love to have each and every one of you, your family. Yeah, it'd be great.
Commander Dolby will now present Lisa Dolby and Annalise Dolby with a bouquet of flowers. He will also present his sister, Melissa Dolby, and mother-in-law, Gail Higby, with flowers as well. Commander Dolby will now present Lisa, Justin, and Annalise Dolby with a small token of his appreciation for their love and service.
So, just a little bit, it says Lisa Dolby, United States Navy spouse. Theirs will say son or daughter, February 2002 to July 2023. And it kind of encapsulates our life in the Navy. So you've got Stuttgart, you've got the helicopter with me in the foreground, Newport, Rhode Island. You've got Tampa, Tampa, and then San Diego, and then the kids, and just kind of the family. So. Yeah. You guys will bear with us for a second while we get a couple pictures. Justin. You want to? This is for Navy son.
Captain Roberts will now publish the retirement orders. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
You ready? I am. Turn them back.
Attention to orders. Department of the Navy, Buper's Orders 2582, Tech 01, dated 18 January 2023. In view of your scheduled retirement to be effective 01 July 2023, on 01 July 2023, you will be transferred to the retired list with the grade of commander and with the retired pay of commander pursuant to the provisions of 10 U.S. Code Section 8323, signed Rear Admiral M.W. Bays, Commander, Navy Personnel Command.
Stand retired.
Commander Dolby, you now stand relieved. We have the watch. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the Navy service song and the departure of the official party and family. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Thank you for attending today's events. Please join the Dolby family for cupcakes and champagne near the Globe Fountain. You're all cordially invited to attend a party in the celebration of many milestones the Dolbys are celebrating this week at the Panzer Old Firehouse beginning at 18:30, where there'll be plenty of food and drink. The Dolbys hope to see you there.